There's a version of this that's happened to almost everyone. You're doing something completely unrelated, washing dishes, waiting at a red light, half asleep at 2 a.m., and suddenly there they are. That one person. Not because anything reminded you of them, not because you wanted to think about them. They just showed up again. And the strange part isn't that it happened once, it's that it keeps happening. Weeks later, months later, sometimes years after you've stopped talking to them entirely. So the question worth asking isn't, why do I think about them? It's, why won't my brain let this go? Let's actually answer that. In the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik noticed something odd while sitting in a Vienna cafe. The waiters could remember incredibly complex, unpaid orders in perfect detail. But the moment a customer paid the bill, the order vanished from their memory almost instantly. She took this back to the lab and ran experiments and found a consistent pattern. People remember unfinished tasks far better than completed ones. Your brain, it turns out, treats an open loop like an emergency. Something unresolved doesn't get filed away. It gets flagged as active, and active things get replayed. This became known as the Zygarnik effect, and it explains far more than waiters and cafe orders. It explains why a TV show that ends on a cliffhanger sticks with you longer than one with a clean ending. It explains why an argument you never got to finish bothers you more than one you actually resolved. And it explains why the person who left without closure, the one who ghosted, the one you never got to say the real goodbye to, the one where the why was never answered, is the one your mind keeps returning to. Your brain isn't malfunctioning when it does this. It's doing exactly what it's built to do. It's trying to complete something you never got to finish. But there's a second layer to this, and it's less about memory and more about identity. When you spend real time with someone, especially someone you were emotionally close to, your brain doesn't just store memories of them. It starts to build parts of your daily life around their presence. The psychologist Arthur Aaron called this self-expansion. When you're close to someone, your sense of who you are literally starts to overlap with your sense of who they are. You start using we instead of I. Their opinions start shaping your opinions. Their habits start shaping your habits. So when that person leaves, through a breakup, a falling out, distance, or even just drifting apart, you're not just losing them. You're losing a piece of the structure your identity was built on. Neuroscientist Lucy Brown and her colleagues studied people going through breakups using brain scans and found that the regions associated with romantic love and attachment don't just calm down when a relationship ends. In many people, they stay active, sometimes for a long time. Your brain, quite literally, hasn't updated its own model of reality yet. Part of it still thinks that person is supposed to be there. This is also why the thoughts tend to spike at specific moments. Late at night, when you're tired, when you're alone, when your guard is down. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, distraction, and self-control, is also the part that gets tired first. When it's running low, older, more automatic thought patterns take over. And for a long time, thinking about that person was one of your brain's most automatic patterns. Here's the part most people get wrong, though. They assume that if they still think about someone, it must mean something, that it's a sign, that it means they should reach out, or that the universe is telling them something, or that real love doesn't fade like this. But intrusive, repetitive thoughts aren't a measure of how right something was. They're a measure of how unfinished it feels. You can think about the wrong person for the right reasons. Unresolved questions, unmet closure, an identity that hasn't fully reformed yet. None of that means you should go back. It means your brain is still doing cleanup work on something that got interrupted before it was done. So what actually helps? Not distraction, at least not permanently. Studies on thought suppression, going back to Daniel Wegner's famous white bear experiments, show that actively trying not to think about something usually backfires. The more you tell yourself don't think about them, the more your brain treats it as important and brings it back up. What actually works is closure you build yourself, since you often can't get it from the other person. Writing the conversation you never got to have, even if you never send it. Naming specifically what feels unfinished instead of leaving it as a vague ache, and slowly, deliberately building new loops, new goals, new routines, new things your brain can focus its attention on completing. Because a brain that has something active to work toward has a lot less bandwidth to keep replaying something that already ended. Over time, most of these thoughts do fade. Not because you force them out, but because the loop eventually closes on its own, with or without the other person's help. The intensity you feel right now is not permanent. It's just your mind doing what minds do, trying to make sense of something that never got to make sense on its own. And once it does, that person stops being an open question. They just become a memory.